Hello, everyone. 2 years ago, the word recession was everywhere. Every headline, every panel, every economist, and then suddenly it disappeared. No crash, no announcement, just silence. So, the real question is simple: did the recession risk vanish, or did the narrative change? Let's talk about the media reports. So, when we are thinking about media reports, it's all about a probability, not reality. It's a human nature that human usually love certainty to act upon something. So when we are looking after any mathematics formulas, or we are looking after statistics models, it's not something which is the living reality. It's something which is the probability that gives us some sort of certainty of an event occurrence to act upon something. A mainstream media doesn't report truth, it reports the probability. When inflation was raging and rates were exploding, recession was the most likely outcome. So outlets like Reuters and Wall Street Journal screamed about it. But once inflation cooled, GDP stays positive and unemployment didn't spike. Recession shifted from likely to possible. And when probability drops, headlines soften. That's not dishonesty, that's a narrative's mathematics. Now let's talk about the significance of Federal Reserve in this entire context. The Fed didn't kill the recession, it delayed it. By hiking interest rate fast and then pausing it, it stabilized markets and prevented panic. But it didn't fix high living cost, weak real wages, or household stress. So, from Wall Street view, the crisis ended. From Main Street view, life just got tighter. So, this is something which is a two-speed economy. So I can classify it as a two-speed economy. This is not a classical like recession, it's a selective pain. So tech, media, white collar jobs are hurting, and asset owners and government supported sectors, probably it's doing fine as compared to the private sectors. So when pain isn't universal, or there is no sensitive events in that scale is happening, uh, media urgency disappears, and media usually reports signals. So there is no mass layoffs, no collapse, no reason to keep yelling. So fear fatigue and elections. So after nearly 2 years of recession coming headlines and no visible crash, people turned out fear has diminishing returns. So when we think about recession, the only key ingredients which fuels the recession is the fear. Well, I would say fear is something which is a salient or compelling factor that consumer change their behavior, consumers panic, or the entire economy go into goes into stress. So fear has diminishing returns, and election into the mix, and economic language softens. Recession become adjustments, and pain become transition. The economy didn't magically improve, the words just got gentle. The recession didn't end, it more. So here's the key insight: that we didn't escape recession, we stretched it thin. So let me discuss one instance with you. So I really appreciate how flexible the United States consumer market is. They successfully pushed back the recession probability by changing their consumer behavior. So recently there was a news article that comes into Wall Street that how US consumers are purchasing second-hand products for their Thanksgiving and Christmas celebration. So a new market. So when we are thinking about changing market or exploring or creating new markets, so you can think of like, hey, earlier people used to purchase like new products or goods. Now people has shifted their behavior, that I am not going to compromise with my celebration, but I will change my consumer behavior, that how I will make purchase. So I will go for first hand products, or I will go for second hand products. So that's something which is salient, and I really appreciate that people are great in terms of in terms of pushing back the fear and shifting that consumer behavior. So they are keep experimenting with new things, like purchasing second-hand goods for Thanksgiving and Christmas celebrations, and dependency or less dependency on the first-hand products. Uh, so they are trying to maintain the demand and the supply in that sense. So probably the demand is something which the US consumers still holds. So that's something which is appreciated. Instead of now think about so let me tell you something. So let's think about, instead of a sudden collapse, what we got. So recession is not always a hard landing into it. So there are a lot of other ways that things or stuffs cascades. So it comes with eroding purchase power, higher debt, pressure, and slower lifestyle progress. This kind of slow burn stress doesn't make headlines, but people feel it every single day. So, not every time we are getting some hard landing, many times there is a soft landing. So the mainstream media stop talking about recession. It doesn't mean the danger is gone. It means the system decided that panic was no longer useful. Silence is not safety, it's containment. And the smartest move right now isn't fear, it's the clarity. So I just try to keep my videos short as possible so that people can listen the videos. They usually don't have to spend a lot of time. However, the conclusion is that I do believe that we are successful to understand or analyze like what's the probability was there. And I really would like to appreciate the US like consumers, like how they have pushed back the fear, they have changed their probability of landing into recession through their consumer behavior and their spending changes, and maintaining a demand. However, probabilities still exist. So there are structural changes or reforms that requires from the government side or from the central bank institutions to deal with all this kind of like structural changes, which you can think of like how we can think about wage growth, how we can think about the housing prices. So all these kind of like structural changes need to come together to deal with recession. Else else the probability is reduced. However, it still exists. So we can think about it, wrap our head around it, like uh, how we are going to reason this kind of like policy. So probably I will try to create videos like how we can analyze policies and why it's important to us, and we can look into it. So this is the main reasons through my opinion, if like why mainstream media stop yelling about the recession. If you feel like there is any context that I have missed, or any way that I'm not correct, then feel free to drop your comment in the comment section. uh, I'm always open to debate, so let's talk about it, let's learn, and um, I'm always open to it. So feel free to shoot your thoughts or comments below in the comment section. See you in the next video.